Hi guys and dolls, today I'm going to be sharing with you the makeup that I was wearing in my hair rolling tutorial that I did the other day. To me this is a wonderful look for fall because it's so glowy and young and fresh, but it's also smoky and a little sultry without going like full Monty. And I don't know what full Monty was about, but anyway. It's a very, very pretty, very flattering look. I think that this look would work on a multitude of skin tones. That kind of olive green, dark eggplant works on a lot of different people. Some people are a little afraid to use dark purples, afraid it will look like a bruise, but when you leave something looking really patchy, it can kind of look like a bruise, but as long as you blend it out and smooth out the edges. And also I used some more neutral colors to sort of ground it and make it look less bruise-esque. The color palette of this just screams fall with the kind of goldy olive and the deep eggplant and the bright raspberry lip, and I hope that you guys enjoyed this look. Today I'm going to start out with my Too Faced Shadow Insurance. I love this stuff because it has a very thin texture, thinner than say Urban Decay Primer Potion or something that's a little bit thicker. I like the fact that this has such a thin consistency when I'm going to be using other bases on my lid, so this is kind of my reason for going for this today. Before I apply my eyeshadow today, I'm going to use a colorful base. This is Shimmering Moss. It's one of the Amazonian Clay Waterproof Cream Shadows from Tarte. Yeah, it's this it's such a pretty like olive gold with glitter. I love it. Anyway, got that on a flat brush, and I'm just applying this all over the lower portion of the lid. My voice cracked right there. It sounded like I was like getting sad about it. It's just right there in the inner corner, and I love the shape of this brush because it's sort of rounded, so it helps to create that inner and then the outer roundness. So I want to blur the edge of that, but I don't want to remove much of the product. So I'm going to take this Sigma E70 like angled shader guy, and I'm just using that to blend out the edge. And I only applied that like up into like the crease. Like up into the crease, oh my god. I'm going to take a really, really dark brown pencil. It's not quite black, but it's not really like a rich, like bright brown, if that makes sense. And I think the sunlight might be making things a little awkward right now, so I apologize. I'm going to place that right at the lash line. Just walk it across. Now these Too Faced liners, they're called Perfect Liners. They actually come with a little smudge tip on the end, so I'm just going to use that. And sort of blend it in with the olive green all over the lid, so that there's no real discernible line, but what you're left with is the illusion of a thicker lash line because there's just a bit of shadow there. Now I'm going to switch gears to the transitional and brow bone area, so I'm going to start out with my highlight. This is Inglot 106 R, one of the rainbow shadows, and I'm going to place that right in the arch of my brow and blend it out to mate with the rest of it. I don't know what the British accent's about, but it felt right in the moment. Now we're going to take a break and I'm going to show you my new wallet. No, I'm just kidding. This is the Amazonian Escape palette from Tarte. It has a very generous sized mirror in there, and you can see here that I've sort of marked up the palette with like a silver marker to mark where each color is, because unfortunately the palette doesn't say what each color is in the back. I tried writing on the back, but it obviously didn't turn out very well. Then I'm going to take this very nice like neutral background kind of color. It's called Rope, and this is a Sonia Kashuk big fluffy powder blending brush. I don't know what they keep changing the name of this brush, but it's the big one for your eye. Or you could use it for the face. Anyway, I'm taking the color in the outer crease of my eye and just sort of wiggling it in. And then I'll start to bring it over. By placing it first here, we're going to have the greatest concentration of color there. And then from there we can just blend it out and make it look all soft. Okay, now I'm going to take a smaller brush. This is another Sonia Kashuk like crease contour brush that I've pinched so that it has a little bit more of a flatter appearance. Actually, I have a video on how I did this, so I'll have an annotation here and a link in the description bar and all that good stuff. Now I'm going to take this really beautiful purple from the palette and see if you can see it in the light. It's called Tribal. It's a really, really dark eggplant, and I love it. Take that on that brush and place this right here in the outer corner. Kind of pounce it on to stamp the color on, and then come back with that big blending brush and just start to softly blend and make it smoky and sing a pretty song. The hills are alive with the sound of blending. So the reason why we're doing all this extra work before we apply our eyelid eyeshadow is because when you're doing all this blending and placement of things around the ball of your lid, where you're gonna have like that pop of color or whatever it is that you are doing, what ends up happening is that you end up kind of blending away what you just did. So my philosophy is, why do the work twice? And so I tend to take care of the, brow highlight and the crease and all that before I do the lid. Not always, it really depends on the look and, the products I'm using or whatever. But yeah, that's just kind of a little tip from me to you. Alrighty, so now we're ready to move on to the lid shade, and it is also from this palette. It's called Camo. It's kind of like a brown sugary olive. And so by using that olive base earlier, it's going to enhance that tone in it. And it just makes it really, really pretty. And then it also has a little bit of glitter in it, so we're just enhancing. We're just making it really pretty. So yeah, just packing that on the lid, pretty much where we haven't applied any shadow, and then just getting a little more delicate with it where we've put this purple because we don't want to cover that up. I've already done like my foundation and started to apply my powder, but I'm going to do my contour now, and I'm actually going to use this shade from the palette, the Rope, kind of neutrally shade. I'll go on a little brush. This is the MAC 168. Just rock that behind my cheekbone. Make sure it goes back into the hairline to help create the illusion of a shadow. Sorry, I've been watching Downton Abbey a lot, and the British accent's just coming out of me. Now I'm going to go ahead and highlight my skin. This is the Too Faced Candlelight Glow. It's like a duo because it's got like a glowy version of their candlelight powder and then some other like shimmery thing that's like pink. Sure. So the original candlelight powder is more of like a mattified powder with glitter in it, whereas this has more of like a shimmer. So I'm just going to place that right here in like the cheekbone. I like to do a little bit of shine on the tip of my nose. I don't know why a lot of people are trying to avoid the shine on their nose. I totally get that. But I think a little bit looks nice. And then just a little on the chin. And then maybe a little over the eyes. What the heck? Why not? It's not going to hurt anything. Alright, for my lips today I'm going to use Cherry Picking from Wet n Wild. It's very similar to Moxie from MAC. Moxie's just a little bit lighter and a little tiny bit pinker, but we're going to overlook that because Moxie's not available anymore. So you guys might notice that my lips are very paled out. I actually used my foundation over my lips today to kind of lighten them up a bit to sort of make the color match, if that makes sense. So I'm going to start out with a lip primer. I generally like to use lip primer whenever I'm doing something with sort of a bold color. That is hot. Next thing I'm going to do is use a lip liner. This is Perfect Pink, so this is going to enhance the pink color just a bit. And I'm just going to line and fill my lips. I'm just going to use a lip brush from Sigma. This is from before they changed the new numbering system, so I don't know what the new number is. And pick up some of Cherry Picking, which almost matches my nail polish, which by the way is Ahoy by China Glaze. So pick up some color, start painting it on. So I'm pretty much done. You could actually leave the cheeks completely bare, but I really like this blush. So we're going to use Doll Face from, or I'm going to use, like you're doing this at home with me. And put that on sort of the back side of the apples of the cheeks and then work it back. It's a beautiful sort of innocent, sweet blush. If this is a little bit too light for your skin tone though, I would highly recommend from the same line of blushes using the Natural Beauty. Oh, I love that one. This is sort of like the lighter, pinker version. And that concludes this tutorial. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and all my weird British accents that are awful. And yeah, definitely check out Downton Abbey. It's fabulous. It's on Netflix, Hulu. Go watch it. Love you guys. See you in my next video. Remember to just be yourself. Bye.